Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we are going to be taking a look at a knife that I have found to be easily one of, if not the best knife to be released this year. And as you can see, I have a couple other knives on the table. I have the Arnold Bernard Mamba, as well as my beloved, my Grail Koenig Arius. And let me tell you guys, what's in this box from a quality standpoint and just a fit, finish, feel, action standpoint, this knife in this box is on the exact same level as both of these knives. I'm not saying it's better than the Arius, because you guys all know I have like a legit love affair with the Arius, but it's up there. It's up there. If it's not on the level, it is right there flirting with that level. And some of you are going to be very surprised just exactly who this comes from. And we're going to take a look at it right now and give it a full review, because this is not an unboxing. I've actually had this now for a few days, and I've been blown away by it. Absolutely blown away. Coming out of Kunwu, we are going to be taking a look at easily, I think the best knife they've ever made. It is absolutely phenomenal. What we have here is the Kunwu Padre. And let's get this thing out of the box and admire it in all of its glory. Because I had a couple people tell me, you gotta check one of these out. You gotta check one of these out. It feels like a $600-700 knife, and it's only $300. And I thought, okay, all right. And it was from people who opinions I really respect, and I know that they've handled knives that expensive and more. So I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's get it on the channel. I have no affiliation with Kunwu as of right now, so I paid for this out of my own pocket. I had to wait 16, 17 days to get it. I'm good with all that. This was worth the wait. Let's pop this blade out here using this amazing blade cutout. Look at that blade. This guy right here is just amazing. I mean, just amazing. Before I gush about it anymore, let's take a look at some overall specs on this EDC and then tell you why you need to get one before they're sold out, because that's just a matter of time. We are looking at an overall length of 8.03 inches, a blade length at 3.34 inches, and a blade thickness at 146 thousandths. Blade material, if you didn't see it already, we are looking at Vanex. Yeah, Vanex steel, one of the most premium steels you can get. It is right up there with MagnaCut M390 as probably the three most popular steels you can get, and three best steels you can get on an EDC knife. We have a clip point style blade with a very nice high and slicey flat grind, a handle length coming in at 4.69 inches, and a handle thickness at 527 thousandths. Handle material on this guy is titanium with a frame locking mechanism, and we are looking at a user. So this one here is obviously right hand, but they have dedicated left and right hand options to keep the handle as clean as possible and not have any extra holes where you don't want to see them. So that is a great option. A weight at a very reasonable 5.07 ounces, and a price $299. $299, and I'm telling you guys, I've handled a lot of expensive knives too. As you can see, both of these knives I have out here, my Koenig Arius, that I actually got this a few years ago now, or close to a few years ago, and I paid like $650 for it. They're obviously a lot more than that now, unfortunately. And the Arnold Bernard Mamba, which I got, I believe, early last year, I think. Both of these knives are fantastic. And you know what? While we have them out, let's just do the size comparisons real quick, and let's see how it stacks up with the Arius. Try and get them lined up a little better here. And the Mamba. And as you can see, I don't know, these are pretty high-end knives. A lot of people may not be familiar with the size of them. So to make sure that everyone knows just what we're looking at here, let me grab a couple more and be very careful when I get my Arius. I already used it to cut limes the night of my wedding, and I passed out and did not clean it. And so this sat in lime juice the entire day. The entire night I got married, and I bathed it in protective lube and all the good stuff the next day to clean it off. Still that little mark there. So I treat my Arius with a little more respect these days. Not going to give it a bath in lime juice anymore. Let's get a couple more out here. What do we have? Here's a good one. The SIG K320 Nitron, which is a really good size comparison. And what else do we got here? Maybe this guy? Nah, we'll do this. Here's a good one. The Kaiser Sheepdog. That should give everybody a very good idea of just what we have here. So this is a nice, really nice size knife. And the blade, for just that 3.34 inch length, it really does look and feel bigger than that just because of the shape. It's a really, really attractive blade shape in my opinion. Really big fan of this. And let's start on this blade and why I think it is just amazing. So what we have here is one very slicey and one, I think it's fair to call this blade a very sassy clip point blade. It has all the lines for me. Behind the edge reading at 15 thousandths. And when you got a flat grind that tall, I mean, that's a very tall flat grind is going to be very, very impressive. And that Van-X is going to give you some incredible performance. And this blade has all the details for me. It has a great plunge grind, nice and thin behind the edge of that edge. We have a finger choil that is very, very comfortable. And of course, also doubles as a good sharpening choil. We have chamfering, very nice chamfering down here around the choil area. So you're not going to feel any harsh corners down there, making for some incredible, phenomenal ergos, and an aesthetically pleasing and very fidget-friendly blade cutout. I mean, look at this blade cutout. It's just big enough. It's got kind of like that secondary milling in there to give it a little more depth perception and just pure aesthetics. But it's a shape that's very friendly, very easy to kick that blade out. And man, oh man, it really does. It just hits everything I look for. And it doesn't look like anything else. It's its own knife. I have seen the Custom Knife Factory, Evo, I believe is what it's called. I see a little resemblance there, I guess. The handle's very different. You know, it is what it is. But again, just about every single knife out there looks like something else these days. It is almost impossible to have a very true, unique, one-of-a-kind design. And I definitely do feel like this is its own knife. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that at all. Not to mention, this one you can actually get for a very reasonable price. $300 for this is absolutely insane for what you're getting from a return on your money in terms of fit and finish and quality. And materials, I mean, my God, Van-X, I mean, you don't see Van-X a whole lot. And when you do, the knife is $300 at least, if not usually more than that. Usually $325 to $375 for a lot of knives using Van-X. So very, very impressive price there for every single reason. And the handle on this guy, the handle is where I really thought it came into play with the Arius. Obviously, the big difference between the Arius and the Padre is there's a very incredible hollow grind on the Arius as to where this has a very nice flat grind. Flat grinds, I feel like, don't take quite as much, you know, special something and experience, whatever you want to call it, to get a really nice, high, deep hollow grind. But again, slicey is slicey, and this tall flat grind is one incredible slicer. But when you compare the handles, it really does. While it's obviously very, very different, you have very nice clips. You have incredible milling in very different ways. You have a very nice diamond texture on the Padre, and you have a even more fine texture, milled texture on the Arius, which is incredible as well. You have extreme internal milling on both handles, as you can see in there. They both have all the internal milling. Wherever there can be internal milling, both knives have it. You have incredible lockup. You have some detail on the lock bar with the Arius, and then you also have some detailed beveling on the lock bar of the Padre. So I'm telling you guys, they really do throw some pretty big haymakers back and forth at each other. And there's very, very few knives I would put on the same table with the Koenig Arius in terms of saying it's as good or close to as good as an Arius. So that right there, I think I kind of rest my case with the points I make. but everything else about this handle is just extremely well executed. The quality of this milling, the texture is phenomenal. The quality is absolutely on point. There's not one flaw anywhere on this handle. And, you know, the chef's kiss, Damascus pivot collars. This isn't flame titanium. This is a Damascus pivot collar. That is incredible. So you got all the things that you want that scream high-end, that scream premium for $299. So the value is just overflowing on this guy, and the action is phenomenal. Super high fidget factor. I have not disassembled this yet. As you can see, let me pop this up here, and you can see where the Vanex is. See how there's still that's factory oil in there. I have not taken this apart and disassembled it and did my own thing, which usually makes it a little better. You know, I don't expect there to be, this is incredibly smooth, like stupid smooth. So I'm not expecting there to be anything in there. So I'm not going to really take something apart unless I have to. So I don't see any reason to. The front flipper is great. I love the design of this front flipper. It follows and continues the lines of the handle and the knife itself when it's closed. It just really pulls everything together. A lot of front flippers stick straight up or stick out. They do something to where they have that very noticeable front flipper tab on the knife, as to where this one, while you obviously see it and you know it's there, it still continues the shape of the knife when it's closed, and it just looks really, really good. It helps tie the top of that design together when the knife's closed. And even closed, I mean, look at this thing. It just, you can tell it is one complete design. Excellent middle finger flicking action, and the close on this guy is just buttery smooth. Love that middle finger flick. As you saw earlier, it is easily reach around approved, and I've had no issue with putting too much pressure on the lock bar to where the blade just won't open or be very difficult. Very, very smooth operator. As you can see, I got all my fingers here on the lock bar, and boom, opens right up. So it's a complete package. It is so complete and so good. And it truly does feel like a $600 knife. It really, really does. Again, I can't say it feels better than an Arius. That would be almost sacrilegious. But it is up there. I mean, it has all the details the Arius has. Minus the hollow grind, it has everything. And for this to be a $300 knife is arguably the best deal of the year. I know it's $300. That's still a lot of money. But when you look at what it could be, I mean, if this knife was made in America, easily $600 at least, probably $750. It would be incredibly expensive. And to be totally honest, I hope they don't. I mean, I love what Kunwu's doing. They are making incredible knives, very, very high end. And check the link below. Again, it's not an affiliate link. It's just a link to the website. They have a lot of stuff available. And I handled the Tau, I believe it was called, was their first design. I have my review up of that. That was a long time ago now, years ago. And it was really, really good. This is next level. I mean, this is the growth and improvement that Kunwu has made since that knife, which was still good, but I mean, it's not this. It's not this Padre. I've heard a lot of people ranting and raving about it, and I am officially on board the Kunwu train, saying choo-choo. This thing is phenomenal. It is easily one of my favorite knives in my collection. And I knew it was going to be good because my buddy Dilo said this thing's incredible. So I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it quite as much as him. I think I enjoy it more than him. I really, really do. This thing is just an absolute banger. There are still some available, but I don't know exactly what the max run limit is or what Kunwu's doing with this, but they're available. You can order them right now. They're shipping direct from China, so it takes 14 to 17 days to get it. Don't fret about that. You're not going to have any issues. It's worth the wait. This thing is an absolute banger. The Kunwu Padre. Guys, let me know what you think of this. And if you don't need me to say it, I'm still going to say it. This is easily, absolutely a Knife of the Year contender. And again, we're getting to the point where I didn't think there was going to be a lot of bangers in the $250+ category. I really enjoy that $75 to $150 range. But the high-end knives this year are just absolutely crushing it, like just about every other price category. This is going to be an insane Knife of the Year awards at the end of this year, and I'm going to be shocked if you don't see this Padre in it. Let me know what you guys think of this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Stick around tomorrow. I have one very high-energy lit episode I'm looking forward to bringing you guys. It's going to be heated, and it's going to be very, very intense, but it's going to be fun too. So we got that tomorrow. This is the Padre. Let me know what you think. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.